Hello Dual Young and Old, my name is Yuyan and welcome back to day 9 of 12 days of content. Today we're doing a Ryzeal Time Thief test hand playthrough because, you know what, why not? And sorry I've been shuffling my deck behind the camera because it's just a lot easier than the setup I have at the moment. And yes, it is a lot simpler than what I have at the moment. Now I do apologise for me shuffling because I'm not the best. But you know what, that's fine. So we're going to go through obviously some of the combos you can do with Time Thief Ryzeal. And obviously how your deck should work. So let's see what the hand is to begin with. So we've got Ice Ryzeal, which is one of the best starters. You've got Bonfire, which is pretty good. Sword Ryzeal, again, one of the great combos. Adrenaline Lockbird, so that's good counter. And you don't want Grave Diggers, but you know what? That's completely fine-ish, I guess, because we can still sort of do some combo lines. So what most people when facing against Ryzeal is they'll always try and hit Duo Drive. And I do mean this with a massive amount of they will always attempt to hit Duo Drive. So we'll first activate Bonfire to try and get a search, because if they Ash Blossom this, we still have like full combo, but note this. People that are playing against Ryzeal will not do anything till Duo Drive, so you still have time to set up. And I say this with a grain of salt, you do have time to set up. So get Exciton Knight, X to Ryzeal from this combo, for this combo line we're going for. So that's your graveyard there, that's field zone. So hang on, sort this out properly for you lot, for those that do want to try and play this list. Next, what you would do in this situation is you would normal summon Ice Ryzeal. Use Ice Ryzeal effect to special summon one from deck. So for this combo, you want to try and go for, well, why are you upside down? You should try and go for a second Exciton Knight, X Ryzeal, because if X Ryzeal is hit the field, pretty much you can guarantee to get one of your, Thunder, Fire, Ryzeal monsters, either being Foed, aka Sword, or Node. For this, you want to go for, well, Node, just because of the potential. So we're not going to shuffle the deck just yet. So what you would do here then is on the third summon, special summon Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal effect to add another Ryzeal from deck to hand. Well, a light pyro, so you would add ice in this situation. However, what you would do here is instead of going to Duo Drive, you'd first go for Rafflesia. Because if your opponent doesn't know, obviously you've got... If your opponent knows you've got fucking, Grave Diggers, well, if you summon Rafflesia, it's obvious you've got Grave Diggers in deck. So it's more of a bait out for, Ghost Bell or Nibiru. And obviously, this is your fourth summon, bearing in mind. So even if they do stop you on your fifth summon, you still can go full combo. So we'll special summon my second copy of Exciton by sending Mirror Logic from deck to grave, from extra deck to the graveyard. Now, in this scenario, if they do attempt to Nibiru, but they won't because of Rafflesia herself, you've still got pretty much full combo. So let's say if they did Nibiru and you don't attempt to use Rafflesia effect. Yes, this does hint away that you've got Grave Diggers, but obviously, Grave Diggers in hand, but oh well. But let's say, for example, if they don't attempt to, Nibiru you in this situation, then what will we be able to do? Well, for this scenario, we have to do as little as possible in order to prevent our opponent from obviously, reading what we got. So from this, we're going to a Duo Drive. Obviously, with 2 material, because again, we don't want to hint that we don't have obviously Nibiru. We have Grave Diggers. So obviously we can attempt, so let's say if they don't have any hand traps and this is like perfect, you'd attach 2, then you'd add cross and as well as plug-in from deck to hand. And yes, there's a reason why I'm shuffling, because unfortunately you have to do something apart your combo very soon. So let's say for example we then activate cross. Then we attempt to do cross effect by shuffling both back by placing these 2 back to the bottom of the deck in order to draw 1. If we get redo, we've pretty much got full combo. Cross out is even better. Because if they do attempt to Nibiru on this turn, or any point at the end of the turn, you can cross out Nibiru, which is great. But from this, you can still go entirely full combo. Specifically because of Ice sending this, special summon Ice, then Node summons itself. You go into Detonator effect, to then attach Mirror Logic to it as material. So basically you can then set these three in your end before the end of your turn, and we'll keep this in hand just in case they do attempt to Nibiru, and you can pass from there. So what do you have on field? You have, Destroy 2 with Hull Thrust. You have Triple Destruction plus, or Triple Destruction plus, or either Triple Destruction, 2 Destruction and a Protection, or Triple Destruction plus a Negate. Then you have an on-resolution negate with Cross. But because Duo Drive doesn't have free material, you can't obviously do this. But with Plug-in, you can recycle back Duo Drive in order to keep your combo safe. So in other words, you're pretty much safe against most stuff in the meta from just this one board. And obviously you did very little, but very little is enough. So we'll probably go straight to what will happen in a scenario if we somehow do get Time Thieves. Okay, we are back. And of course we have obviously some stuff. Well, we're not stuff. We've gone to, if the scenario was to include stuff like Time Thieves, if we can get to it. So we've got Draw and Lock Bird. We've got Cross Out Designator, which is pretty good. We've got Pot of Prosperity. We've got X Ryzeal. And we have a second X Ryzeal, but that's okay, I guess. So in this scenario, you would attempt to bait out practically anything with Pot. So what would we send with Pot for this situation? Well, you kind of want obviously Detonators and Duo Drives. So you send basically these two from my list, and probably SP. The reason why I say probably SP is because SP itself is a great card, but for how this deck prevents you from doing anything, it kind of shuts you down a bit. So let's say we did 3, and we got either Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, or Bonfire. Now in this situation, you would definitely want to go for Bonfire. These go to the bottom, and that goes to graveyard. If they do attempt to droll here, this is where Cross Out comes in handy, because you can stop the droll from preventing you from doing anything else. Because yes, droll is very good against Ryzeal. So is both Ghost Ogre, and so is, Nibiru. So pretty much you have, if they don't droll you, this is a good scenario. But if they do, you kind of have to, use the bomb. You kind of have to use Cross Out Designator. But other than that, you pretty much still got full combo from here. So you can just go with this to add Ice. There's one near the bottom, Sound. You normal summon Ice effect. This is where you'd summon Sword, and then you get Sword effect to add a second copy of Ice. Obviously, we still not had any of the Time Thief stuff, but you know what? That's okay. Because how the deck works, obviously, because you can't search the Time Thief stuff. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So from this, we'll obviously special summon this, because let's be realistic, we don't have Nibiru to worry about now. Or Ghost Ogre. So this would be your 4th summon, or your 3rd summon, Exeason into Duo. Attempt to use Duo effect. If they do attempt to Ash, Ghost Ogre, you can then go Cross Out, call Ghost Ogre. And let's say, and this is the scenario where it happens. Because honestly, you can't prepare for everything, but you can prepare as much as you can. So you banish the Ghost Ogre is negated, and then you get your detach 2 from Duo Drive. So you detach both Ice and Sword. For this scenario, you kind of want to go for Cross and Node. The reason why Node is because of how versatile it can be, especially with resource management, is being your main problem. I keep Droll in hand just because of this scenario. So we'll just shuffle it like that. Activate Cross. Use Cross effect to shuffle back both. We'll place to the bottom both Ice and Sword to the bottom of the deck, and we get to draw one. If we get Ryzeal Time Thief, we do. And we get Winder. Let's go. So for this scenario, you'd special summon Node, use Node's effect to send the X from hand to grave to revive back X. I believe that's how it can work. If not, I do apologize. Let me just double check its ruling, so, you know, go from there. So yeah, send from hand to graveyard is cost. Is the first thing you do. So you can send that and then reborn that back. Because it didn't say you have to have a legal target first. So from this, you can actually go into Time Thief Redoer. And this is where the Time Thief line completely starts. Because you wind up, detach this, special summon this, then use Winder's effect to revive, to add a Time Thief card from your the hand. In this scenario, you get Time Thief Retrograde. And obviously, because you still have it on board, in this scenario, you would get rid of draw. If you didn't get Winder, then you would obviously keep draw in hand. But if you get Winder, just go for something simple, either like Rafflesia or the Garis. For this scenario, we'll go for Rafflesia. Just because of the potential of obviously destroying everything, and then you can set Retrograde and pass. Because if they do attempt to nib, you've got to cross to prevent everything. You got Rafflesia as well for Grave Diggers to burn for an extra 2k. You got Redoer to attach the top card of the deck, and if it's a monster, it gets banished. If it's a spell card, you draw one. If it's a trap card, you place one card from the field back to the deck. You have Retrograde for extra protection, so stuff like Evenly Matched, Dark Ruler, which, yes, those two cards do shut down Time Thief. Right, not Time Thief, they do shut down fucking Ryzeal. And don't tell me otherwise. Because, again, I've obviously told you, I've had this argument with, like, someone saying, oh, but you can do this to respond, and then you can do Detonator. I'm like, but you're then having to waste resources, plus a negate, to stop a board, to stop one card, whereas you just do trade 1 for 1, and then gain advantage. So, fuck yeah. So, yeah, that is a perfect scenario game for, obviously, Time Thief and Ryzeal, but we're still missing one card for this combo. Detonator. So let's do one more test hand and let's see if we can get the required cards for it. We're back, and this time we're going to do a power shuffle because why not? So obviously this card deck's 40 deck cards, so if you like having consistency and no extra, do 8. Unless it's like 42, then go for 3x3. If it's 8, 4x2. So yes, you can still play this deck no matter what. And I do think this deck is quite good, considering it's not been really tested as much. It has been probably tested in the OCG, but not to an extent where it can be usable. But obviously in TCG, we are very creative with our cards and combos. So let's say we're all prepped and ready for the cut. So what the cards we get? We get Drawn Lockbird, it likes somehow being glued to my hand. Bonfire is amazing. Crossout Designator, perfect. X Ryzeal, and we have Ice Ryzeal. So we have pretty much full combo no matter what, which again is fucking great. You know what's funny as well with Crossout Designator? You can save it for someone else's Bonfire if you really want to, but you would never do that. So you first activate Bonfire. Let's search a second copy of Exciton Knight or second copy of Ice. For this scenario, we'll definitely go for a second copy of Ice. Actually, you wouldn't even do that yet. My apologies. So you start with normal summon Ice effect. If they attempt to Ash Blossom here, you can cross out, but they're not going to do that. So, but obviously, if that scenario does come into play, you will have to waste the cross out. But obviously, people are saying Ash is not too good in this format, which I do kind of disagree with. So, actually for this scenario, we'll go with Ryzeal Node. The reason why I'm going for Node so early in the combo, mainly because of because of obviously we've got cross out for safety. Then you can special summon X and use X effect to add. Again, the still not going to Ash this, so you go for Sword, then special summon Sword for its effect, then Sword to add another copy of Ice to hand, or X. In this scenario, we want Ice. I say keep Bonfire in hand specifically in case you need it. Now for this scenario, we're obviously going into Duo Drive with 3 material again. And we're going to attempt to use Duo Drive effect. If they do Ghost Ogre here, because they probably will, this is where cross out comes in handy. Or in case they do Nibiru. But obviously Nibiruing and Ghost Spelling too early is a problem. So if they do Nibiru here, you've got protection. And if they don't, and attempt to go Ghost Spell, this is where you send 2 to add. So we'll send both Ice and Sword to add for what we have. So let's say they do Ghost Ogre here. We'll send Banish Ghost Ogre to negate their Ghost Ogre. Then from this, we would add 2 Ryzeal cards, so being Cross and Plug-in. Again, the reason for these 2 is mainly because we have resource management now. Like, we have ways to continue our combo line. Especially thanks to Node, as we can now use Bonfire as, cost. So for this, we can activate Cross. And then use Node effect. Send this to Reborn back Sword. And this is where obviously we can do the combo line for, stuff like Redoer and then other things we need for our combo. But now I think about it, you don't even need to use Nose effect yet. Because you can still activate Plugin, if I can speak. Not even activate Plugin, you can also do Cross. My apologies, I'm fucking over my combos. I hadn't shuffled, have I? No, I hadn't. So give me a second to shuffle. If I have, I do apologise. I can't really look back on the recording. So yeah. So put Ice and Sword at the bottom. And if we draw, we get a second cross out, which is pretty fucking funny. So obviously in this scenario we'll do Bonfire to search for another X. So we do technically still need Bonfire the first combo. Then I send this, provide back this, activate the... Actually, would you? No, you go for Time Thief Redoer here. I'm now questioning if I can still get to Detonator now, because obviously with how combo lines are screwed a bit. Activate Cross, Ryzeal plugin, revive back this, then attach Sword. No, you'd want to spell, don't you? I'm screwing over my own combo lines, I should know. I apologise. Like, profusely. Even if we can't, and if we do get Winder, like, that's still fine. Because we're still set up with Rafflesia, but just note you can set up all 3 of these powerful monsters on 1 turn. And plus we have recyclement and recovery, so we're not too bothered. So attach, then we'll use Redo as effect to detach 1 to draw 1. And we get Plasma Hole. That's okay, I guess. So we'd set these 2 and keep draw in hand. This will obviously be in defense. But obviously we can't go any further than that, so that would be the end of our turn. So we have obviously attach and negate for anything, negate for anything. As well as if they do attempt to Nibiru here, then do a drive screws them over. So yeah, we have practically got a safe board and safe way to continue our plays. So yeah, that's all the time we got for. I'm sorry I couldn't obviously get all 3 of the monsters out, because I have actually done it before. But it also just depends on what your opponent does, unfortunately. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications if you enjoyed. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Signing out.